I just took a test, it sounded like my shit go stupid. Bitch, I got like 10% more left on my to-do list. I roll out with my old car, it's a group, his name is Lucas. My nose up with my old go fragmentate that pussy boom. And I took that flight and got a big bag, man, this shit is so taxing. I said goals and bit it like Jackson, black on black, my shit from Paxson. You not fire, I'ma just guessing phone. Going through my IG top requested songs, tripping like banana pills, I'm raining up and down the road. Pussy ball like Joe Rogan, take your phone, no wait, that bitch tryna get photos, shoving me logo, tipping on phone, back to the bathroom. Permanent racks, I'm getting my packs, I'm paying the tax, your pocket is lighter, so we never match, no square in my circle, no time for all that. Brian, does your fame ever take you by surprise? Well, that's an interesting question, Brian. No, it doesn't surprise me at all. Ride around the city with the motherfucking bros, yeah. Driving to the sun is the side what tends to go, yeah. Whipping cutlass, cars and ruckus, but I'm on that visa. Me not fucking with you boys, you acting like a diva. I'm cutting that track and I'm rapping and getting that back, but I'm missing that terminal 3. I just quit attacking the stupid. If you want that smoke, you can get it like Bella Hadid. I don't do that violence, but calling me crazy, I might could be Jordan your ass, I promise. My biggest motivation is my dad, so kissing and that shit was trash. I counted like I cannot sleep and I'm counting the sheets on my bed. I miss when the shit I was scared of was eating the season, the treat I would grow on my head. I ain't seen the fam in a couple of months, it's been 22 months, that shit's almost 2 years. I promise that one I come after Jakarta, that y'all gon' be proud of the shit that I built. My neck is a mortgage, she got an iPhone but don't got no storage. 550K for the deep with the crib is 4 million, I'm never gon' drive in a Porsche. Maybe a touch of luck, ain't got no gas but the wheels automatic. Not about to drop, no gas for no Lambos, the shit is too tight just to sit up some traffic. How the fuck you hate and resent me for doing and trying my best? I don't remember your birthday but I know my billing address. Case around the bitch. Baby, this life is not fun as you think. I never look at my phone when it rings.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Hashflow's Basic Degenomics, a weekly Twitter Spaces conversation where we invite those who are actively shaping the future of DeFi and the crypto industry to share their alpha. Today is episode 25 with Henry, a true Giga Chad. We're going to be talking about trading bots, market signals, degen strategy. We're going to be going through it all. Henry, why don't you introduce yourself before we get started?
All right. Hello, guys. I need to check my micro first. Okay. Let me show you hear me clearly.
Oh, I can hear you, bro.
Oh, good. All right. Oh, this is the first time I on air like with Twitter Space. So you know, maybe some of you know me from when I was in Arbitrum, like in early this year, and now continue the journey to Degen. And here we are. I'm here.
Thank you so much for joining us, man. We love your account. You know, I'm following you all the time, and just appreciate the alpha that you share there. So we're definitely excited to talk with you. We've got some questions, so let's just dive right in. And, the first one we have for you here, many people have left the industry and interest has cooled off. But what narratives are you most excited about right now?
Actually, we know that we are all in the bear market. We are not in the bull market yet, and right now the market is really dry, and I see no fresh money inflow, and we know that the world economy is still very unstable, and investor or traders still don't want to invest their money into high risk asset like crypto, right? And but the market is always moving, and we can see it from the early this year until now. We see with the airdrop program from Arbitrum and Aptos to keep the markets working and running, and with so many narrative, and we still remember the biggest narrative this year is review with the GMX, right? And then LSD fee, and then and now currently we see Telegram bot Meta is running, and it's worked really well. People lovely. We see Unibot and Mastro and everywhere, right? So currently, because I see the Telegram is the main social for crypto. Many people and many group using Telegram for communicate. So it's really work well currently.
I love.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, for the market is somewhat quiet. Are you focusing on Telegram bots right now? Is that kind of your main focus at this point in the market cycle?
Yes, but you I see that the Telegram bot will end soon, and now I'm focusing on the new meta. Maybe it's base chain. The base is new, and I see it's really I see many opportunity there in base. Soon people maybe will love airdrop again, and then we move to base, and then there will be new hype of the market, and then we will see. We will see. I think the next narrative will be on base. Yeah, I did some research and I really like base. It's really fast. It's layer two trend and it's really good. And many people will like they will crazy for airdrop. Maybe airdrop from base. No one know, but they hope so. And the hope bring more people. Yeah. So but the bot meta, the Telegram bot meta is still in here for a while, not ending really now. But as a researcher and a trader, I need to find a new narrative. So yeah, base will be new narrative.
Yeah, no, I'll double click on some of that stuff. So obviously very very familiar with the Arbitrum airdrop. That's
Yes.
actually candidly, that's how I first discovered you. Is I think we became friends when you started becoming pretty active in the Arbitrum ecosystem when I was there. And the other piece of alpha that's really interesting is I won't share, but coming from Amazon, I'm a big data guy. Probably not at the level you are, but I have data that is basically confirmed that you are one of the top traders out there. Like you have great calls. Your calls tend to perform really well compared to others. And I've talked about this in other spaces, but a lot of times folks assume follower count and quality of trades tend to be correlated. That's not the case, right? So a lot of times I say the best traders tend to live in this 10 to 30,000 range, which I think again you kind of confirm that. One quick shout out I would give for you is I actually did start following your personal Telegram channel, and one of the things that I actually love about it is you're really transparent with kind of all your buys that you personally make. And I think one of the things we'll dive into a little bit here is a lot of folks that are starting out. They think crypto Twitter is like the best source of alpha. I think we all know that you're usually too late. But what I like there is if I want to basically mimic your transactions and a lot of folks will use technology to track wallet transactions. You just make it very seamless for folks. So for me, I just would say thank you because you've helped me become a better trader purely just by kind of watching what you're doing. And then that being said, one thing just to kind of go back to, what do you think are some of the most common mistakes you see, new crypto traders make? Is it where they're sourcing their alpha from? Is it, diving into things that are too risky? Like what do you think are some of the things that new traders can try to avoid?
Okay, firstly, thank you. First, what my style trading is like I try to educate community. It must again. Because, it's good that you can get something from me. Okay, now go back to the question. Yeah, this is quite a long question actually, because it's not just new buy, but also like veteran trader and old trader still has some same mistake, and I can see it from them. Not just new buy, and okay, I'm going to share you something I learned by heart. Okay, it's in my mistake from myself, so I learn it and I make change, and then I adapt, and then I move on, and it's worked really well. I know it's worked well because it's helped me print a lot of money. So it's worked, right? Um, so the first thing for people who join the crypto market is they should lower their expectation. Um, Normally we join the crypto market because we want to earn money, earn profit quickly. because it's high risk, high return, right? And we want to do it fast, but and we unprepared. It's not you think that okay, maybe you go to the crypto market, you buy a token, and then the next day you will double your value or something like that. But it's actually not. It's just a story about the lucky thing in bull market. Or sometimes people want to tell you about that, and you will FOMO to get into to the market, but it's not, and you end up being a backholder or at loss. Yes, and so the first thing you need to do is lower your expectation. I never expect I will bring a lot of money. I just expect okay I will try to remain in profit when I trade. So that's my expectation. But sometimes it's work really good because I don't put high hope. All right. First thing, lower your expectation. It's really important. And then the second thing is you before you join the market, you want to earn money, but it's the wrong thinking, the wrong approaching. You must know how to survive the market first, because in the market, when you join the market, uh, it's like PVB, right? Person versus like you fighting against other, you fighting against other. Not it's not a game, it's not a normal game. And when you join the market, people will try to win you. And how you defend? Like you really a new buy, you unprepared, you don't know the market, you don't have a appropriate tool, a good tool to research or to buy a token for trading. Yeah, and you think you will win the market easy, but no, uh, you are new buy. So the first thing very important, you have to learn how to survive the market, and after a while, like after a few years, the best strategy to survive the market is to yeah, you have to okay for new buyer and for everybody, you must learn how to control your portfolio, your investment. For example, if you have 1,000 US dollar, right, you it's initial investment, and when you invest any token, you should not invest the whole your whole bag. Like do not spend 900 US dollar or 1,000 US dollar for just one token only, because the price will be very fluctuated, and it will be up a lot or down a lot. If it up, you happy, but if down, well, 90% will be down, and you will be crazy, and maybe you cut loss, and it's really bad, and that's the common mistake. People tend to buy a big bag at one moment, and they end up at loss. So that is the most important thing. You should never buy everything or just buy one bag. So for me, strategy is simple. I divide my portfolio into many good tokens, and I accumulating it. It's not like I spend everything on one token or two token. I always have money to reserve, and some investment will bring benefit, but some will not, and maybe I will cut lot. Yeah, it's normal when trading. You have two choice only, right? Book profit or cut loss. It's simple. In the market, you just what have two choices: you cut loss or you book profit. So my recommend is you have to learn how to survive market by control your fund, your investment. Yeah, and of course the last thing here is many good people I know, they are good, but and they have a big ego, you know. Sometimes they predict the market, and it's correct because they're lucky, or yeah, I think they're lucky, and they think the market will follow their predict, but it's actually not, because the market is not running by anyone, and you cannot predict the market 100%. So if in case you are correct the first time, but the second time or the third time or the fourth time you will not correct anymore. You will wrong, and if you wrong, okay, just wrong for the first time, and your ego is too high, you will try to revenge the market. And when you starting to revenge the market, it's now it's bad. It's really bad. Do not try to revenge the market. And for me, I just move on. Okay, I accept it, and I move on. I find a new trade. So that's my third suggestion. Do not try to revenge the market and lower your ego, because I see many good men they lost money because they try to revenge the market. So it's like, okay, we just a player in the market, so we just follow the rule. We enjoy it. That's it. I think I have three suggestions for new buy. Is that good?
Yeah, no, that's great advice. I mean, it's so funny. I think Alan and I probably can attest to this. I mean, when I first got into crypto, I was playing the big bag game, right? And a token performs, you get lucky, you make some nice profits. I think, obviously over time, as I've studied you and I've studied some other traders that I really look up to and admire, one of the things I've noticed on your Telegram channel quite a bit is these small bags, right? It's you're buying a lot of different tokens, but your bag sizes tend to be smaller. And I'll be honest, not investment advice, do your own research, but I started mimicking kind of your model, and I'm not going to lie, like it's really worked well for me. I mean, I've had, obviously, to your point, some tokens go down to zero. I've had some tokens pump. What I don't typically see in my own portfolio is a 500% increase on the entire portfolio. But I do find that in general, I am consistently more up than I am down. And then I think, again, from a diversification standpoint, even before crypto, I invest in stocks, startups, real estate,
Yeah,
now crypto. And I think taking that mentality from the traditional areas of investment and applying it to crypto definitely holds true. And then obviously, like I said before, the notion of taking profit, I think there's a lot of folks, to your point, where they let the ego get to them. They see something, pump 800%. They think they're going to ride that, to the top. And then 2 hours later, they go straight to zero. So I agree with you. And I think also too, by diversifying and having those smaller bags, it's easier to keep the ego in check, right? Because it's like, you're not seeing those massive gains. You're not seeing those massive losses. And to your point, when I do get a loss, I just move on, right? Because it's not like I lost my entire bag or my entire portfolio. So I think in general, this is a great piece of advice. And I don't know if you want to add anything to this, but obviously, when we do get out of the bear and we get into the bull, we'll see obviously a lot more, retail investors with little experience, never click links, all those things. Any advice that you'd give to folks that, are less crypto native? I think in general, some of them, onboard in different ways, but I think the advice that you gave definitely holds true to them. But anything else you would add for the normies?
actually, in Portugal, it's everything is simple. Everything is so easy. Everyone can bring profit easily. They just buy a token and it bump is really high and really hard. So for the new, maybe for the next circle, I think they should know how to book profit and how to cash out on time. Do not show FOMO like ultra FOMO. Like if they put the laser eyes on the on the PFP, then it will be big problem. Because the problem of the new buy in the next bull cycle is they will be really high, really crazy high, and then maybe they will all in everything because it brings so many so easy. So I just one thing only for new buy when for retailer when they try the market in the bull cycle is try to book profit. Okay, do not do FOMO. Book profit and book profit, cash out. That's it. I think it's important.
Yeah.
And yeah, because we here for investment for printing money, and if we do FOMO and if we keep putting money into the market, or you keep printing and keep rotating to another token, yeah, the portfolio might bigger and bigger, but if uh, if you're about at the peak, okay, and it suddenly drop, you will losing more money, and it's cannot hold you anymore. So for the new buy in the next cycle, they should know how to book profit. That's important. For me, like I cash out my profit maybe twice a month or sometimes once a month. Always cash out my profit. It's important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think it's great advice. It's funny. Yeah. The FOMO thing. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like I got caught in the FOMO trap early on in crypto, as I'm sure a lot of other folks did. And now, the acronym that I look to is JOMO, the joy of missing out. And I think just,
Yeah.
to kind of put a pin in that, like the way I look at it is, whether it's you or, another trader that I admire, I'll see a token pump and go up, 50% in a day. And I'll say to myself, man, I should have bought it. But then, it can go back down the next day or, it can, because it's such a volatile industry in general. And so
Yes.
I think to your point, it's like you've got to celebrate your wins. You've got to move on from your losses. But I think the more you get fixated on the misses, the more you're going to miss out on that next potential opportunity. And so I think now the way I look at it is, when I see someone call something and it performs really well, I'm just like, oh, cool, great. But I know there's going to be another call like that, within a week. So I think that's great advice. I think, avoiding FOMO is definitely something that definitely a lot of folks in this industry can start to learn from.
Yeah, got profit,
Yes.
Henry. But I did sell Unichat a little early today, I will say. But that's a conversation for another day. I do kind of want to ask you also, do you have any specific rules or guidelines you follow to exit a trade, either profit or loss? When do you know to pull out?
Yeah. Okay. Depends on the market. Right now we are in the bear market. I would try to avoid invest on any project that has a big green candle, like really high already. Like okay, I will skip it. Maybe it will have more chance to go higher, but we never know. So it saves me a lot. Like and it's also about FOMO. When you see people, everybody talking about a token, you feel FOMO and you want to buy it, but okay, maybe you have some gain like 50%, but it suddenly drop and you had lost again. So the first thing is try to avoid buying any token that already strike. Okay, for on I trade on sex too, like Binance. Uh, YTT right currently they bump really hard, right? And I said to my follower that do not buy that token because it will crash, and then it crashed. So it's normal game. Okay. The first thing is try to avoid any bumping token already. We don't want to buy it, and yeah, that's the first thing. And then the second thing is try to find this is kind of you must look at the chart, the pricing and everything. We should buy low and sell high, right? The rule is simple. We buy low and sell high. We not buy high and sell low. But many people don't cannot do it, and so you have to find your position. You don't know it, and you buy the bottom or middle box, and then so you book profit. And I always tell my follower that you should take initial out uh, as soon as possible. So you secure your investment because we never know what happened next. Maybe it will crash with bad news or whatever. So many bad news in crypto. So we have to secure our investment, and then we book profit. If it goes up, uh, we book profit slowly and slowly. Yeah, and until we have around like 20% of token, then we are good because at that point we are always in profit. So it's my principle for trading. That's two simple thing only, and it saves me a lot.
Henry, it's easy. You just got to buy high and sell low. Or buy low and sell high, whatever it's called. It's simple. You make it sound easy. I don't know why more people don't do that.
Yeah, It's simple, but so many people cannot do it.
It's a 50-50 go up or go down, you know, like, come on. Anyway,
Yeah.
the green, they definitely cause some FOMO. And also, let's talk a little bit about security as well, because booking profits is important, but securely booking profits is even better. How do you evaluate the security and legitimacy of exchanges and tools before using them for trading? Do you have any security tips that you can share so we can stay safe?
Yes, yes. It's important when trading on DEX because you might get hack or exploit. So easy and so very easy. I have to say very easy. And for me, I got hacked so many times before. I lost a lot of money actually, and I learned a lot from how to secure my wallet, how to secure my trading. Okay, first thing is about MetaMask. Everybody talking about MetaMask. It's decentralized wallet, and but we have more wallet like Rappi or OKX or many. Okay, Trust wallet, but they all look the same. You have to protect your SIG face or your key, your key face. It's important. Uh, but the more important thing is you have to know. You have to know that what are you doing in while trading. You were swapping or you connecting to any fixes website, the app. You have to know what you are doing. Like do not do not try anything new. It's really dangerous for your wallet because the hacker might drain your access from your wallet very quick. Uh, and if you are new buy, okay, if you're new buy, you should ask. You should ask people before you doing anything. You should ask. I always tell my follower that if you don't know anything, please ask. This is simple. You just ask, and someone will help you, or I will help you. So first thing is try to ask, um, and then you will be good. All right. About the tips, when you know how to use the wallet, you should have multiple wallets. For me, I have many wallets, and I will have a few main wallets. The wallet will never connect to anything. I just transfer money from other wallet or transfer access from other wallet to the main wallet, and this wallet will connect to nothing. I not connect to the app, not connect to Etherscan or whatever. Uh, I will keep it isolated, and I hold most access my access on the isolated wallet, and then I have trading wallet. All right, I trade a lot, and I don't know if I get hacked or by a scam token or whatever. But the access on trading wallet will be small and limited. And after 1 day or 2 day, I will transfer access to the whole wallet, to the main wallet, to hold it. So the important thing is you must have multiple wallet and the trading wallet and the whole wallet. So it will save you. Uh, I don't know, but it will save you because many newcomer retailer they buy a scam token or they connect to the phishing the app and then they lost all the access and the hacker well they have many way to hack your wallet and it's really bad experience and you also should have money on centralized exchange too just in case uh, your your mac your macbook or your phone stolen yeah because I saw it before so you still have access on centralized exchange it's safer.
Yeah, Henry,
So
a couple of things on there. I definitely agree with pretty much everything you said. Yeah, I mean, I think, and like most traders, I mean, you learn this stuff the hard way. I mean, I've been hacked myself on my personal wallet, but yeah, I mean, just to kind of reiterate some of the things that you said that I support. One, having in a sense, your safe deposit box, right? You have that one wallet that's one way in and no way out. I think that's definitely a best practice. The other thing you mentioned that I agree with is for your active trading wallet, just to really never keep a whole lot in there, right? Because that's the wallet that you're constantly connecting. That's the wallet that you're, constantly buying from. And so that way, worst case scenario, that wallet gets exploited, your entire bag isn't gone, hopefully just a small amount. And I guess this kind of ties back to just the notion of diversification in general. It's like, if you're going to be an active trader, it's like the more wallets you diversify, the less likely you are to ultimately lose, your entire bag. One other thing I'd call out, we had a great episode recently with a company called Wallet Guard, which is a Chrome extension that you can put in. And what I like about Wallet Guard is it basically does predictions against what you're going to do. So I've noticed now, one, it notifies me every time my wallet needs to be updated, to be more secure, which is great. And then number two, if I click on a link or if I connect to something, it'll acknowledge that there might be a high risk scenario, or it might acknowledge that it's identified some sort of malicious code. So that's been a great product for me. But yeah, great advice.
Yeah. I found many secure way to secure my bag, but we have to protect ourselves first. So I think it's the best practice. Then later we improve our security. It's really crazy because we don't want to experience that, right? We don't want to experience that. I lost like a lot, like crazy. cannot sleep like few days.
Yeah, man.
And
Definitely
yeah,
tough out there on all the eggs
crazy.
in one basket. I've got a wallet for every day of the week. I'm not messing.
Yeah.
Hackers they never sleep. Have you seen the hackers? Any hackers trying any new attack vectors recently that we should be aware of?
Sorry, again. I
Oh,
miss it.
sorry. Yeah. So just asking about hackers. Have you seen any new attack vectors be deployed that we should be aware of? Is there anything that as a tactic that's being used now?
Currently no, but for legend, I saw new approaching, like for pro, okay, for people like me, we checking wallet a lot, right? We checking another wallet like smart money wallet. We know smart wallet they maybe the insider or they have a good connection with the project, so the hacker also know that, and well they send a token, a random token to the wallet, and from the explorer we see that it look like the wallet owner is swapping that token, but they did not. And if we follow and we buy that token also, we lost everything. So it's they target people like us, like me, who check in the wallet, and that's it. I think it's a new thing here. And but for new buy, they okay because they don't know smart wallet. They're not the victim. But yeah, I see that's a new thing. But for me, I never track like that. But my friends they told me they lost money. So okay, I think it's a new thing.
Yeah. I think I'll just double click on that. I mean, one of the things that I've seen a lot more of lately, and I think anyone that's native, knows, is just this notion of bad actors and impersonators. And so I'll tell you kind of two things that I've noticed. One, best practice: turn off your Discord DMs, because what I've noticed is sometimes someone will join a Discord community, and then they will basically make their account look like they're a moderator, or make their account look like
Yes.
a main account, and then they'll DM you and say, "Congratulations, you got whitelist. Here's the link." And then you click on that, and the next thing you know, you get drained. The other thing that I'm seeing more of, and unfortunately, I'm a target of this, is what I call the Autobots. Not to be confused with Transformers, but you'll have these automatic bots that, for me, for example, what they'll do is they'll block me, and then they'll set it so that it auto replies to my tweets, and it's pretty obvious which ones these are, because it says something like whitelist available, or airdrop live. And usually what you can tell is if you read the name of the handle, they've replaced an L with a 1, or they've replaced a 0 with an O. So at first glance you might think that it's real, but I'll tell you exactly what they're doing and kind of how to protect yourself. So like if you see on my handle, or on Alan's handle, we have like the little Hashflow H. If you click on
Yes.
that, it then takes you to the Hashflow handle, and you can tell that that's a verified company Twitter handle. What I've noticed on a lot of these bots is they'll have a little square, and the square is so small that you don't really know exactly what it is, right? So you click on it, and then what you'll see is the company that it's associated with is completely irrelevant. So it'll say like, a pizza joint, or a plumbing company, or a pool cleaning company, and that to me tends to be like one of the best tells. So I find in general, like, I don't click on links. But if I'm ever curious about a link or a handle, when I click on that little square and then it launches a very non-relevant, company that's been verified, that's usually a tell. And that's exactly what they're doing. Is they'll basically, they'll create a fictitious company that looks like a mom and pop shop, get that verified. Then what they'll do is create new handles, get those to kind of join that organization. Then they'll go and verify those handles, right? And again, they'll just misspell by like one letter. But I think, again, like best practice, click on that little square, see what it's associated with.
Yes, agree.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like it's really for me. I never click any phishing website or anything like that,
Yeah.
and I never believe anyone DM me for the good thing, like
Yep.
okay, you congratulations or something. No, I never thought thing like that because I know what I'm doing, because I really know what I'm doing and who
Yep.
I'm talking with. So, but for new people, yes, they follow in that tricky really easy, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, one thing, it's funny, like one thing we do even at Hashflow from a marketing perspective is we try to think through how to get information out that doesn't require link clicking, right? So a lot of companies, what you'll notice is, they'll make an announcement and they'll make a thread and then they'll have a link to like their Medium or something like that. What we do that's a little bit different, purely just to kind of help protect people is, we'll turn that stuff into images, right? And we'll post it as an image. So there is no link to click on, right? Or we might
yes,
acknowledge, link in bio, and then you can go to the bio link and click that because that's protected and verified. But I think it's a good tip. Just to pivot a little bit, into the TradFi space. Obviously, we're seeing some pretty serious TradFi entities like BlackRock and others, publicly supporting digital assets now. How times have turned. Do you envision that we might be closer, to mass adoption than many believe? I mean, how likely do you think it is that some of these ETFs get approved?
oh yes, I love it. Like I strongly believe that we are going to see the biggest bull cycle ever.
Yep.
Like everybody, the mass adoption will be here. The multimedia they will talk about crypto and Bitcoin and everywhere. And the last thing the is PayPal. They have the stablecoin now, and which is really nice. So later on we can convert to stablecoin easily. It's like even me here in Vietnam, I can use PayPal. So every country can use PayPal. Like people will convert to
Yeah.
the stablecoin very easy. They can buy a stablecoin easy. For now, if you want to buy stablecoin, you have to go to a centralized exchange and you have to
Yep.
buy go through P2P or something like that, right? But
Yeah.
now with PayPal, you can buy a stablecoin easy, and now you can start your trading journey, something like that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and I strongly believe that in the next post cycle that we see the biggest mass adoption ever.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mhm.
I definitely agree. I mean, I think, my POV on the PayPal news was it was a bullish sign for me, right? Because,
Yes,
those companies, coming from Amazon myself, those companies have very recognizable brands, oftentimes very trusted brands. And, for folks that are completely new to the space, whether or not we like it, I think they're going to be more apt to, go with the name that they know that and name that they trust. The other thing that I find in
yes,
general, self included, is you may see normies onboarding and via the PayPal stablecoin. Then once they're in, anyone that's intellectually curious, they get the crypto bug. They start diving deeper, doing their own research, and then as a result, start discovering, the USDCs and USDTs, and then they might say to themselves, "Oh, well, even though I came in through, PayPal, I actually like this better, or I like this company ethos better, or I like, the founders better." And so you'll then see folks start to, I think, adopt other things like the analogy that I always jokingly use is when you're going to open a coffee shop, the best place to open it is directly across from a Starbucks, right? Because Starbucks is always going to have a line, which means folks will then discover you, and then you'll start to see the foot traffic pick up in your own coffee shop, and then eventually that that brand becomes recognizable in its own right. Sticking on the TradFi piece for just a little bit, You know, and obviously I think we've seen, you know, some movements in the past. I think some of those movements are starting to change or not become affected. But what kind of off-chain sentiment have you noticed over the last few cycles that you typically see moving the market or actually driving, you know, traders into action?
But this thing is like in overall market, right?
Yep.
Because okay, let me because this question is like it's quite difficult for me to say here, but
Yep.
like okay, because people always want to get rich quickly,
Yeah.
right? It's because we all want to find opportunity to get rich quickly, and that is the thing we drive people to make people move to crypto market. So I think it's straight to the point already.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's funny, like one of the things I, you know, as a marketer, like I always look to is PR and press, right? Because I think, you know, obviously we have the CoinDesk of the world and the Blockworks and Blockmates of the world that most of us follow, but you know, you have to remember that normies aren't reading crypto native press, right? They're reading, you know, Fortune and Bloomberg and TechCrunch, you know, or even kind of more, you know, mainstream media outlets that aren't even finance related. And so it's so funny because I remember during like the beginning of meme coin mania this year, there ended up being, I think it was like a Pepe article in TechCrunch or something. And a lot of people were asking me, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? And I was like, I think it's a good thing, because what happens is you now reach kind of mass awareness, you know, normies, etc. They again see it, they're aware. And then to your point, what happens is FOMO. They go, oh man, like maybe I should go buy a bag of that because, you know, it's clearly a big deal. You know, we all know
Yes.
that at that point, you know, they're a little late to the game, but I do think press in general, especially across, you know, TradFi and more kind of mainstream outlets, can drive some pretty significant, you know, positive sentiment and inflows. So I think just going on to that one, and I think this is something that almost everybody's always curious about, like, how do you typically approach trading against narratives? Because obviously some narratives phase out very quickly. Some can become cornerstones of the industry. You know, some evolve and change. How do you approach narratives typically from a trading standpoint?
Yes, we see many narrative phase out really quick. Like that maybe just one day only. Like early this year, I see the narrative die quickly in just one day. It's really fun because many people chasing the money and they end up buying the top. Um, for me, I'm not hurry to rush anything. Have to skim the market first. I must know everything in the market first, right? I'll have to list down what they have in the market right now. Maybe the money currently will flow into this particular narrative, but then maybe they will rotate to another narrative in next few days or few weeks. So I don't know, but I prepare. So I just buy it early and I hold it. So I already always skim the market, or scanning the market and watching for new narrative by follow many people, follow the people that I know that they have something to talk to share, because narrative is about story or about some event, right? And we know from those event or story they will make something. So I just follow good people, many people, and I watching them. I go to Twitter every day and I see, and okay, maybe this is new, and I mark it down. I will see it, and yeah, that's how I find narrative and keep tracking it, and never buy the top, because if you are late, then you are late.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
not. Yeah.
100%. I think like a couple things I would kind of call out. Like I agree with everything you said. I think, one of the challenges I think for a lot of folks is who to listen to, who's a trusted source. I mean, obviously there's certain news outlets. I do tend to follow a lot of the reporters at those outlets. I look at kind of what they're talking about. Another thing that I do is on Crunchbase, you can create a free account, and then you can follow kind of the VCs that know what they're doing, right? So like the Dragonflies and the Electrics, the folks that are very native. And I also, what's great there is I get like a daily email of investments that they've made, or even just kind of news that mentions them. And then sometimes what I do is I look at that and I go, okay, did they just invest in 4 of the same sector, or did 3 of these VCs all invest in the same sector? And it doesn't mean that narrative is going to start that day, but it means that like if and when that narrative comes, I now kind of understand what propelled it to begin with, right? I think
Yes.
2 things that I really dislike in this industry, just to kind of call it out, is one, the notion of fake narratives. And I did actually a podcast with Block, I think it was Blockmates a while ago, where I talked about this notion of fake narratives. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of companies that'll do one of 2 things. They'll either generate their own fake narrative, and it's, again, usually tied to press, right? They'll go and do a big BD deal. You'll notice that only they as a company or project talk about it. The other side doesn't. And then they try to turn that into a large narrative, right? They try to spin it. And that's PR 101. But again, it's very deceiving, because I think the average person assumes this is a narrative and then may buy that token. But it's really just press and media manipulation at its finest. The other thing that I've noticed that I really don't like is this notion of narrative writing. And the best example I can give of that is kind of the AI narrative. I worked in AI at Amazon headquarters for 3 years, so I'm pretty well versed in AI today, AI tomorrow, what's possible, applications and usage. And what I noticed was you had a bunch of new AI projects launching. I would read the white papers. Even friends of mine like yours would reach out to me and say, hey, like, as an AI guy, what's your take on this? And you can tell pretty quickly like who knows what they're doing and who's full of shit. But then what I noticed is every project's like, what's our AI narrative? And the best example of this is like all the chains launching their own version of ChatGPT, right? It's like an easy thing to skin and roll out quickly. But again, like, that's narrative writing, right? The project is saying, okay, if we make an announcement tied to this AI narrative, that's going to drive hype for us, and then drive speculation and interest. And so I think, I'd recommend to folks, like, go back and find that episode. But the more you understand how fake narratives are created, and then the more you understand how projects try to ride these narratives artificially, I think the more you can also protect yourself by not investing in those companies. It's funny, one policy that I have here at Hashflow is we just don't do that, right? So when there is a fake narrative that comes out, obviously the FOMO in me says, oh, we should ride it, like user adoption. But we don't, right? Like, we have for ourselves, we have our roadmap for the year. We know what our narratives are on a quarterly basis. And even if that's not the popular narrative at the time, that's our narrative, right? And I think over time, you'll start to see more of that. Like, projects that I trust in general may not be talking about what's most timely right now, right? So a great example could be, if I were a narrative writer, I'd be launching a Telegram bot right now. I'm not launching a Telegram bot right now. Maybe down the road I will, or see the benefit of doing it. But if all of a sudden I launch it tomorrow, to me, that's just clearly narrative writing. And all you're doing is, in my opinion, prioritizing yourself over users and customers. And I think that's just wrong. It's unethical, Yeah.
Yes. I agree. I agree with that, because when I'm searching for a narrative, I always try to find a solid project, like a really good one. I don't know when people will like it, like intention will move, interest will move to that narrative, but I know they're doing good. They keep going. Okay, because if I buy it, and in the beginning I said that we should lower your expectation. Right. I can hold a token for 2 years. Right. It's normal for me. So like, we can lower the expectation. We buy a good one. We hold, and in next year is can give you a really great return. Right? We never know, but the good project, but they will keep working until the bull circle, and but for the bad project, like you said, fake narrative, they will die quickly in few days.
Exactly.
And come back with your money. Yes.
Yeah, and I think, like, two things I'd kind of call out. One, and not everybody falls in this bucket, but a lot of crypto native press and crypto podcasts they don't do fact checking, right? And so I think you also have to remember, like, when a founder goes onto a podcast or when an article comes out, the way that works is, I have my PR team generate a press release. That press release goes out to all the different media outlets. They pick it up. They might, tweak it a little bit. But again, like, this is not TradFi press, right? And so when I hear a founder on the air talking about this and talking about that, I always approach it with skepticism, right? And I know, like, as an optimistic person, that's not always the best mentality in this industry. But I think, again, you're better off questioning everything and then doing your own research to either confirm your assumptions or dispel them, right? Because what I've noticed, even, when I was the CMO of Arbitrum, is, you have very large projects with very large market caps that do this fake narrative and narrative writing. And again, like, I think a lot of people look to those kind of top 25, top 50 projects as like the most legitimate ones in the space and the ones to trust. The other tip I have for folks is subscribe to company newsletters. I know email is like very web too, but what I do notice is, whatever's contained in that newsletter that week, if I start to see it consistently tied to whatever the narrative was on Twitter that week, that to me is a sign of a company that's narrative writing. And again, it just makes me, one, probably not hold a bag of that token, or two, just understand that, like, there's an MO here, and that I shouldn't just instinctively trust everything that I read,
Yes, agree.
Yeah. What I'm curious, just in terms of going back to narratives or even just traders in general, what patterns or traits have you noticed about traders that successfully perform year after year, versus just one bull market cycle? Because, I'll tell you one thing that I've noticed with some of the, like, top 25 traders that I know is, to your point, some of them just get lucky, right? Like, they have one good call, it pumps 4,000%, but then you look at every other call and it's down, right? I think with you, what I find fascinating, and part of why I'm such a big fan, is I typically see a lot of green, across your portfolio. But I guess, have you noticed things, within yourself or with others that you look to, that folks can kind of look to as inspiration?
Sorry, again, the last question. I missed it.
So just to repeat it, like, the question was, what patterns and traits have you noticed among traders that perform year after year versus folks that just, again, get lucky or have success in one bull run?
Okay. Is you want to listen to my experience myself, or you want to know about other guys? Because
I would say both. I mean, obviously, I look to you as such a great source of alpha.
Because many influencers or callers, they call a lot because so many tokens. Like, I see, when I see their channel, just one day I see like maybe 100 message. Oh my god! Like, but and each message is about one token, and it's really crazy.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I cannot do like that because I research about the token I bought, right? I research before I buy it. I'm not just look in the chart and I say, okay, this going to bam, or this going to hype,
Yep.
or people going to buy it, or no. I check in the project and to see the Twitter. I have to access the Twitter and go to Telegram, and I read the website and the docs, like white paper or GitHub or whatever they have. I understand the concept first, and I know they're going to do something. Okay, but then maybe they will deliver something. Maybe they not, but they're trying to do something, right? And it should be good. So okay, this is maybe the good one, and I call it. So for me, it's not buying many token and then you will have a lucky one. It's not my style.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Because so many people will run out of money before they got a lucky one. Trust me, that many people will run out of money because they're new buy. They don't know how to protect themselves. They just spend money and then they no more money. That's a problem.
I agree with you, Henry. Like, it's actually funny. Like, this is one of the things that kind of made me bullish on you as an individual was I did notice that in general, the tokens that you're talking about, you tend to talk about them for much longer periods of time. It can be a couple times in 1 week, for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, versus other traders that I've looked at in the top 50, where, to your point, they're calling out a new token every day or even every 3 or 4 hours. And again, I think while diversification is good, I just started to question that a little bit. And I did notice that those traders, just from a macro perspective, don't outperform folks like you that, again, seem to be more invested in 4 or 5 tokens at a time versus 25. So I think that's a great piece of alpha for folks.
Yeah. Okay. I got to share you one thing. This is important. For you guys, this will save you a lot and bring a lot of money for you. In the bear market, we rotate a lot, right? We hold just 1 month or 2 months, or maximum. It's really long already. People just hold for 1 hour and then sell a token. But in the bull circle, if you hold a token, it will give you massive gain, massive. You just hold for 6 months and it give you 1,000 again. It's crazy. But if you keep the familiar with the bear market, you rotate, and then in the well in the next circle you cannot hold. You cannot hold anymore. You cannot hold a token anymore, and you will try to sell it early. I see it from many people. They cannot win big in the market, and they maybe they just win like double their portfolio only, and it sucks because they see many people, new people, they hold and then they win like 100%, 1,000%, or 10,000%, crazy, right? So you have to learn how to hold in bull market. It's important. It's really important because in bull market the cotton will the token price will keep going up and going up and going up. That is a problem of the bull cycle. It keep going up, and you cannot hold and you want to sell it early. You feel enough, okay, we rotate to another token, but no, it's end up keep going up. So you have to learn how to hold a token. It's very important, and you have to practice it. Trust me, you have to practice it. Because right now you cannot hold any token longer than 1 day. People will sell it right away when they have a chance, and it's a bad habit for investor.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, even from my own trading experience, I've noticed that it's usually better. Again, not financial advice. It's usually better to take profit. As much as I might kick myself for missing out on another 30% or 50% or even 100%. Again, I'd rather get that profit than it go down to zero. So I think, again, like diversification and discipline, the 2 Ds are just so important. We're going to pivot now into something that I know you are very excited about. Because I see you talking about this quite a bit, but trading bots, they're definitely having a moment. I'll be honest, I'm a little hesitant to use them. I'm excited about them. I just get a little bit worried about, the risk profile or, again, bad actors impersonating them. But what's your take? And, do you foresee like Telegram and Discord bots, really being a big meta this next bull market and really being something that's kind of here to stay versus just a narrative or fad?
Okay, you want to talk about the Telegram bot, right?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, I use Maestro more than Unibot, yeah, because I'm familiar with that more than another one. About the security, I think we in the market right now, nothing is 100% secure. So why you have to worry too much about secure when using the bot? Like as I said to you, the trading wallet should be small, and you have to learn how to control it to protect yourself first, and it's really important. Like for me, when I buy a token, I feel okay. I should transfer to another wallet to hold it, and that wallet should not connect to any bot and you're safe. So actually, you should never worry about it because so far no one like get lost because of this. And and about the bot meta, I want to talk more about the Telegram bot meta because it's really interesting. It's not just in short term narrative, but I think it will last to the next protocol. For example, Maestro, right? It saves you a lot when trading. For me, I always drive like on the road. I don't have many time to sitting on the desktop like other people or laptop or whatever. Like I use mobile a lot, and the Telegram bot saved me really a lot. I can swap, buy, and sell quickly, or I can check in the token quickly because I use a lot of mobile, so it saved me time. It saved me. It can I can check the token by using the bot to like how secure it. Yeah, it does scam token or whatever like that, and I also can check my Telegram bot. And for now, I never touch Sushi Swap or Uniswap anymore. Honestly, and yeah, you should not worry about it. You have to learn how to protect yourself, and then you should not worry about it again. Like yeah, but I don't have any worry about it actually.
Listen, man, you're making me FOMO a little bit now, but no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to me because obviously a lot of these bots are powered by AI, and again, like as a former AI guy, I've seen a lot of sophisticated AI bots. A lot of companies use them for customer service. A lot of companies use them to kind of automate even just things internally within big tech companies. So I definitely, I think in general, believe more in kind of the usage of AI towards bots versus some of these, again, nonsense narratives that I hear about. How do you see the emergence of AI impacting traders? Are we about to see some massive advancements in trading tools? Ways to make trading easier and more sophisticated?
Yeah. I love AI. I love a lot. If you follow my channel, I always said that you should learn how to use AI. Such as ChatGPT is really amazing for me. Really amazing. It saved me a lot. For a researcher like me, I search a lot of information. Um, I search for by Google, right? But for now, I just need to ask ChatGPT, and it gave me a lot of information I need. It really understand me. That's amazing. And yeah, I will be here, and everything will be here for we are early. Actually, we are very early, and in next year or maybe yeah, just next year we see a new story about AI or a new application. But I think it will be big in the next circle. And yeah, for simple, I want to talk more about another project using AI. Same my favorite one is Jenny. It's work the same like ChatGPT,
Yeah,
and
you love Genie. I
I
definitely see you talking about Genie quite a bit. Yeah.
yes, because I love it. It's not just investment, but I love the tech behind, and I love people who working behind. They really understand the need because, as I said, Telegram is like a culture crypto, right? Everybody must have an Telegram account, and project will have a Telegram group for community. So for the journey is like again a way to communicate with community better, like a ChatGPT. Like if you really use a ChatGPT, you will love it, and the journey like gives me the same feeling about when using ChatGPT. It saves a lot of time and yeah and fun too. Have fun with it too. So I think it will be here for long term, not just like shock narrative and die quickly. No, I don't think they will die, but instead they will evolve and they will expand more and more like more use case. I think they will have more use case in the future, not just for Telegram because we keep moving. The fun thing that I enjoy the market is I always see something new every day. People have so many like, creative things. Like, I enjoy the market a lot. Like, every day I check the news
Yeah.
and I see something new. Like, oh, okay, this is cool, something like that. And I just know that they will keep moving. Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I mean, I think like, again, as someone that comes from big tech, part of what drew me into this industry was, my own intellectual curiosity. But I will say, whether it's founders or folks like yourself that I meet, like I do find folks in this industry to be very intellectually curious, very experimental, very innovative. And that's how new technology evolves, and that's how new technology is created, right? Because in more of the traditional business sector, I mean, the model, it's like someone invents something, it's extremely profitable or successful, and then the next thing you know, everybody else is replicating it, whether it's social media platforms or AI tools. But it's really interesting. I think the other thing that like we don't talk about enough in this industry, but I also used to work in machine learning, and I don't think that people fully acknowledge yet the impact of machine learning on AI, right? Because obviously we have the AI narrative, we have great tools like ChatGPT, which I'll share some of my use cases there. But I think again, when you start to bring machine learning into AI, what that does is it just expedites it even faster, even further into areas that again you might not have even thought of. Going back to ChatGPT, there's a couple things that I use it for that I really like. I agree with you. I think it's a great tool. Funny enough, everyone on my team, I demand that they bookmark it on their toolbar. But one, it's a great way to understand and evaluate tokenomics, right? So you can say, hey, break down the tokenomics of this company, this project, this token for me. And it does a really nice job at that. And then the other thing that I really like about ChatGPT, especially for normies, is it really helps break down like complex topics and subjects. So, obviously like our DEX is MEV resistant, but you can literally say things like, explain MEV to me like I'm 5 years old, or explain oracles or nodes or whatever like I'm 5 years old. And what it does is it literally, basically it creates a really great analogy. And as we know, analogies are one of the best ways to onboard normies. So I always encourage folks, like when you're reading a white paper or you're seeing something that you just don't know what it means, like not only can you save yourself significant time, but like it'll translate it in a way that is very easily digestible and understandable. And so those are two great use cases there. Last thing I wanted to kind of call out, and I'll give you kind of my take on this, is I do get a lot of high profile traders that reach out to me whenever a new AI project or new AI token launches, and they'll say to me like, hey, can you vet this a little bit for me? Like, do you think this is legit? Do you think this has a future? And one of the things that I typically do is I go and look on LinkedIn at where the founders come from, right? Because at Amazon, obviously we had a pretty significant AI practice, very high quality engineers. Obviously the same at Microsoft, Salesforce, like a lot of these big tech companies. But when I see an AI project where, founders come from big tech, where again, they had a lot of time, a lot of financial resources, a lot of other, like very talented developers, for me, that's usually a bullish signal for a project, or it's a reason for me to kind of read the white paper and look a little bit more closely. But when you're investing in bots or even just using bots, how do you approach your research, or what do you look for to legitimize something or make you feel comfortable with it?
Yes. Normally, when I look at any project, I read the white paper. I read it and I fully understand it. And for normally with the dev and the team, they put a lot of effort and on the project. So I know that when I read the newspaper, it's really detailed and it's explained a lot. It's explained a lot of what are they doing, and if a good team, they know what they're going to do, because if they can break down their plan in many sectors, and they know, okay, this team know what they do and they have a clearly plan how to do it. Like they break down by smaller part, and I will see, okay, this is doable or not, it is workable or not. If it's like it's workable, then okay, I will go deeper a little bit to see how, and maybe sometimes I will ask the team member how they going to do this, how they going to do that, and if they can answer my direct question, it should be the direct question and it should be logical answer. Then no hidden information or some fixing anything that make me feel uncomfortable, then I will go for it. Yeah, normally everybody should read the news, the white paper or the doc. So that's how I file the token and file the project.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm a huge white paper fan myself. I mean, one best practice that I think more projects should actually take on is, especially like, and I've noticed this in the AI space, like I'll read a white paper and there'll be a lot of different algorithms and equations and things.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And obviously you can use, again, ChatGPT to translate some of these things for you.
Yeah. I always use that. I copy the whole the white paper, and I pass to ChatGPT and then ask them to make it shorter for me, make it I can understand it.
Yep.
And it really it do it. It can do it like like it saved me a lot. Right. Sometimes some devs they are technical guy, right? They are not. They talk something I can't understand. It's so hard to understand because I'm not a tech guy.
Correct.
So, but the ChatGPT saved me. Like you can transfer to the language I can understand.
Yep.
So that's how I use the ChatGPT too. Like every day, it's really a lot. Save me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things I would say like to that. Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. But like one thing I think projects should do more of, just knowing that we're trying to drive mass adoption is, you can create the most technical white paper in the world, right? But after you go through these equations and these sections, add a paragraph that says, in other words, blah 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 blah, and really write it in a way that normies can understand. Because I think again, not everybody's using AI tools to translate things. A lot of people might read a white paper and go, wow, this is super sophisticated, these guys must be smart. But like
Yes.
just making it more accessible, I think is something that everybody kind of needs to do. The other thing that you called out that I really do agree with is asking questions, right? Like for me, if I read a white paper and I don't understand something, sometimes I'll DM the founder of the project or the CTO, or even the company account, and I would argue like most projects will respond to you. And the other reason why it's good to do that is because if they start to get the same question from 5, 6, 7 people, they might start to say to themselves, you know what? This is way too technical for the average person to understand. And then hopefully they go and do what I said, which is create either an addendum to the white paper or, again, some sort of Medium blog post that really starts to distill this stuff and make it more accessible for folks. So yeah, great tips for sure.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, look, Henry, we've been cranking for like an hour. We want to be respectful of your time here, so we just have a couple more questions for you.
So fast.
One of them is, how do you stay updated on the latest trends and developments in both the crypto industry and trading practices? Are there any resources that we should all know about that you can point us to?
Okay. It's actually many. There are many tools for researcher, but I don't use it a lot. But I know them. I know how to use them, but for them, I don't use it for on-chain data. Then, for me, for me personality, I use Twitter a lot. Oh, okay, maybe not call it X, but I use Twitter a lot, and I am tracking information from the Twitter every day. Every day I checking information from Twitter. So when I see something cool, I use another tool to check for research. For example, if I want to check on-chain data, I will use DeFi Llama, right? It's the simple things, and I don't use other tool too much because I can find any information I need in DeFi Llama already, like the volume and TVL and project on-chain, new project or whatever, like something like that, and I can predict the money, where the money going. So I follow the money. And when I know where the money, I will research more about the project and more things. So I just follow the money. It's an easy game for me. And the tool I just use most Twitter and DeFi Llama. That's in my too powerful tool already. And yeah, you can also looking for another tool, but for me it's too much. Right? I don't need them. For example, some people they were checking wallet on chain, right? They were checking the money from this wallet to another wallet. But for me, I'm not that kind of researcher because I don't really care about the smart money. Smart money, for example, you have to think like this: smart money and VC, venture capital, they are here for a long term. Like they invest for 2 years, 5 years. They can survive the market for long because they can handle the pressure. much better than us. Retailer, you tend to survive just like maybe 1 day or 2 day or 1 month, and then you run out of money. So if you follow the smart money or the VC, is really dangerous because they are here for they can buy a token, invest their portfolio for 5 years. It's not just for 1 month. So I for me I don't use. I just focus on the one I think bring me the most benefit. So I think for me it's enough. But for professional researcher, like we have more tool. Yeah. So Twitter and Defilama is more powerful tool already. Like for Defilama, I research a lot of good project from the Defilama. Yeah, I think you can try it because if for me, if I master a tool like Defilama and it gives me a lot of benefit, it's much better than use a lot of tool and it just wastes time and energy. But for me, I'm not young anymore, so I just focus on the one I think the most benefit. Yeah.
Preach, my friend. I'm not young anymore either.
Yes, I know, I know. Like we cannot sitting on the chair like 10 hours anymore. I just sitting on the chair like 1 hour and I have to move.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a
totally.
pain in the back and everything is there, right? So I just focus on the one I think is most benefit and
Yeah.
bring benefit for me, money for me. Do not try. Okay, you can try a new thing. You can see. Okay, maybe it's bring you some a new tool to make it better. Yes, I do it. I love it actually, but I will end up being using the one I feel most powerful. So yeah, it's my recommendation. Don't waste time on too many tools.
Yep. Yep. I agree. Well, listen, my friend, it has been an absolute pleasure. I really appreciate you making this your first space. I think you brought the alpha, my friend, and I think brought just a lot of valuable information to the community. But let me close out with just a big announcement on our end today. We officially launched on BitThumb. So shout out to South Korea. Shout out to anyone in the audience from South Korea. We've seen some pretty massive volume today, about 50% of what we typically see in a week just in Korea. I think the other thing that I'm excited about is we're seeing that come from the Korean currency. So I look at that and say, mass adoption, army adoption. I think every project should always be thinking that way and trying to bring more people into the space. But that's what I'm excited about right now. So last question for you. What are you excited about? What are you looking forward to in 23?
What are exciting in the next year?
Yeah. I'll extend it for you. I'll give you a 6-month window. What are you most excited for in the next 6 months?
Oh, it's ultra bullish. like we are good, man. I think we are bottom already, and we are going up, steady going up. We have nothing to worry. Like yeah, we're going up now. The bottom is already here, and the market will be warm up again, and it's steady going up and up and up. So it's for me, it's bullish. It's bullish, not bad anymore. So end of the year will be the good year for us, the most of us.
That's all I wanted to hear, my friend. Well, again, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know how busy you are and how much you put out every day because I can't even keep up. But yeah, everybody go follow Henry. Definitely go check out his Telegram, which I think it's a link in your bio that takes you there. But once again, thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Close it out, Alan.
Absolutely. Okay. The bottom is in. You heard it from Henry. My bags are, celebrating with joy, and so am I. So, look, Basic Degenomics is brought to you by Hashflow. We have weekly conversations with awesome chads like Henry here. We're 25 episodes in. So, Henry, we appreciate you being our 25th guest. It's a special number for us. And, cheers to the next 25. We're definitely going to have you on soon. In the future, sir. So enjoy the rest of your day, Henry. We appreciate you spending time with us, and everyone else. We shall be chatting soon next week. Enjoy your weekend. It's almost here. Andrew, any final words?
Peace.
Peace. Bye, everyone. Much love.
Bye.
Bye, buddy.